Too much headspace. So far, 7 seasons have been released, and with 2 more. So a season 8. So with less than a month to season 8's release in March, and with the news of season 24 to follow, I thought I would do my own version of speculating of which seasons would follow season 24, and which order they would be released in, and when they would come out. So with season 8 coming out in just under a month's time, and season 24 recently being announced to follow that season. So with season 8 being released in just under a month's time, and with season 24 recently being announced to follow season 8, I thought I would do... No! He also did an updated version at the start of it. He also did an updated version at the start of February 2021 before you say it. I thought I would do my own version of... So begin... Shit. And what seasons are confirmed to be coming out soon? And which seasons have already been confirmed to be coming out next? So we start off with the first season, e.g. the Tom Baker. In this case, in season 12. For clarity's sake, we'll just name them as season 12. So I've gotten the set. And due to the sex... The third box set to be released in March. And the first back-to-back season to be released following season. And the fourth release in July 2019 was... The fifth release in October 2019, the fifth release. The most recent box set released was the seventh. The seventh and most recent box set to be released at time of recording. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, releases were... No, hang on. This was released in May 2020, and then after that, and recently towards the end of January 2021, it was... And at the end of January 2021, quite recently, and would be the 9th box set of the... So, with all of those box sets now, with those 7 box sets, so now that we're up to date with the 7 already released seasons and the 2 upcoming seasons, there are still 11 seasons of the 1970s and 80s to follow season 24, as well as all of the 1960 seasons if they're able to get round to doing those. So let's get speculating about when all of those... This gives us a total of 17. Yeah, this gives us a total of 17 box sets to be released if they're going to do all 26 seasons. So let's start It'll be a mid to late spring to early... And I'm predicting that there will be 4 releases a year. And I'm predicting there will be 4... Now on to the predicted box set, starting with the third release. It would be in my... Now this season has been rumoured since 2008. Now this season has been rumoured since December 2018. And I think it's pretty likely to be getting a release soon. However, they might want to film in Paris for some of the bonus features for this release. However, there is one snag that it will However, there is one roadblock that may prevent this box set, due to the travel restrictions and for filming maybe. Both of these are Graham Williams here, and after two box sets, and after two seasons produced, and after two seasons, and after two Philip Hinchcliffe produced seasons being released, and one John Nathan Turner season being released with the fourth. And after two seasons of Philip Hinchcliffe, and in the case of and after two Fourth Doctor releases produced, and after two Fourth Doctor seasons produced by Philip Hinchcliffe, however, with restrictions on filming him, and some of these other seasons are going to have swap around. And I'm going to have that with some other seasons. There's going to be a couple that might swap around for various reasons. But primary prediction for this release would be season 17, with the optional swap around with season 16. Which will then be the first Sixth Doctor box set since We now move to 2022, starting us off with the first release of 2022 and the 12th overall in my predict. And I think the 11th and mainly because he's got the most number of seasons after the Fourth Doctor. Season 11 would be the most likely season to be chosen, because I think they will save season 7 for the 60th anniversary series. And as I just mentioned, the 13th box set overall and the second from 2022 would be season 16. Season 11, of course, would also be the fifth and final Third Doctor season to be which, as I already mentioned, that is possibly going to, as I already mentioned, season 17. But for this, but for my main prediction, but they will swap with each other if necessary. I predict that this is the first box set for this, and would be released in August of. But the primary season being released in this slot is season 2022, with the possible swap out being, with it possibly being replaced by a delayed season 20 if necessary. But season 22 is my primary swapping. But my primary allocated season is season 22, and if delayed to 2022, and season 22 would be released in 2023. The final box set of the 15th box set in the. Now, the reason I think season 5 will be the first. Fuck you. At the time of recording, the Tomb of the Sidemen and the Enemy. The Ice Warriors and the Ice Warriors is complete with animated missing episodes. The Ice Warriors is complete with animation filling in for the missing. The Web of Fear similarly also has a part anime. Fury from the Deep has which would animate all the episodes, although one of which the same would be said for the Wind in Space when they get. And if it comes out within the first 9 months of the year, then it could possibly be released. However, if season 5 has to be delayed into 2023 for those reasons, then season 25, the second season for the. However, and this is the second season for the Second Doctor. Now that I mention it, now that I've listed all of the seasons I think that will come out in 2022. All of them are subject to swap round with other seasons, either from earlier years or either from 2021 or from 2023. So all of these 2022 seasons are actually subject to change depending on other seasons, or in the case of season 5, that season. It's the first 3 due to. Actually thinking about it, all but the season. It's 60th anniversary year time. It's 2023, and we're now coming up to the next. But I don't think that'll be. But I don't think they haven't had a year where they've had 4 out yet. I'm just speculating they'll get 4 out. 2019 was going to be the first year, but season 26 was delayed to 2020. So, yeah. However, some might be delayed. So, starting off with. As I mentioned with season 11, as I mentioned when I was talking about season 11, season 7 is likely being, as I mentioned with season 11. So John Pertwee, so season 17, then I think season 13 will be done as the penultimate 4th Doctor release. This will likely come out in, which is his second. Now, this one would then allow having 5th and 6th Doctors. This box set would then allow having the 5th and 6th Doctor box sets. And would be closer to having that all Doctors having a box set in 2023. And would be close to the. As I mentioned earlier, season 21 might swap. As I mentioned earlier, season 20 at the end of 2021 might swap with season 21. If season 20 has to be, which I then said would be to September, or which would then be in the season 22 spot I left. So if season 21 is released in December 20, then this spot would go for season. This would then complete the 6th Doctor. Either way, both 5th and 6th Doctors boxes. Following in August-September of 2023, it would be the 7th Doctor's 2nd season. Season 21, which following this in, but if season the season 25 would be the 19th release of 2023 and the 4th. All the other seasons can swap around. Well, maybe not season. Well, maybe with the exception of season 2, but this one might. With the exception of seasons 2 and 3, I think this one has to stay where it. With the exception of seasons 2 and 3, I think all of the other seasons can swap around, but this one has to stay because it's its 60th anniversary season. But I think this one has to stay because it's the 60th anniversary of this season beginning in November 2023. It would make a very special release for the end of 2023. To allow for that, in market or. And a full reconstruction this time. They need to do full reconstructions of the missing episodes, not condensed ones. Okay, moving on to 2024, and we start to have a bit more 60s coming out now. In February and March. However, the remaining 5 missing, which, as I already mentioned when talking about season 5, isn't really a fan favourite season. Or a story, I should say. When I was, even if that means season 6 being complete is going to take long, even if that means delaying season 6, but I think Space Pirates is going to take a bit. Now, yeah, the box sets aren't, and if stories are, in box, we've now got 3 60 seasons left to. Now we've got 3 seasons 60s. Shit. Now we've got 3 more 60. Okay, so that's 2. Right, see. By the way, all of the 80 seasons would have been complete by season 25. If that had been released in 2023. If it had been moved to 2021. By the way, all of the 60. So let's wrap up the 1970 season. Starting with the 3rd season of the 3rd Doctor, being the 22nd release overall, and the 3rd. So with the 2nd box set of 2000. The 3rd box set of the year and the 23rd overall would be the 4th. Again, now this one is. Now, as I mentioned, and 16, as that is a complete series. So, yeah. So I think season 15. So season 17, I've just realised. I just realised something about season 5. I've just realised something about season 5. If it's released in 2022, that means it would be following the trend. So it's possible, especially So by my predictions, it'll be released on Blu-ray as part of the complete. The fourth and final release of 2024. The fourth and final release of 2024 and the 24th overall, being released in November or December of the year. Again, this is its 60th anniversary season, which is the first. And as I full reconstruction. These are the Blu-ray boxes. We can't have any more condensed reconstructions. It's time to have the complete episodes in one way or another. So if we have to go by reconstruction, so be it. But it has to be a complete full episode reconstruction, not a condensed one. Loose Cannon fans are able to do full-length, complete episode reconstructions. Why can't the BBC? Well, they've done the 10th Planet Part 4, the Web of Fear Part 3, and the Underwater Menace Parts 1 and 4, and also the ones alongside the animated versions of Power of the Daleks onwards. But with the Ice Warriors 2 and 3, and Galaxy 4, 1, 2, and 4, and especially Marco Polo, they've done very short reconstructions instead of full episode ones. We now move on to the final year of the collection box sets, and if you've been keeping score, that means we've only got 2 box sets left being released, and those are seasons 3 and 4. So coming out in both of those would come out in 2025. We would start off with season 4, the first season for the second Doctor, sharing with some stories with the first as well. And that would be released sometime between February and June 2025, and would be the first of the 2 box sets released and of the year, and the 25th overall. The reason I think season 4 will come out first is the same reason season 5 and 6 are like the same reason. The reason season 4 will precede season 3 is because, again, we've almost completed that season with animated or reconstructed episodes. We've still got the Smugglers, the Highlanders, and the Evil of the Daleks to go, although the last of those 3 has been rumoured to be coming up next, and the Highlander, although Evil has been rumoured to be coming up next, and, oh, hang on, it's 2025, I need to stop. And the 20th, and they will be the hardest of the 2. Granted, currently it still holds the record. Granted, currently no story of season 5. Granted, no story of season 4 has any. Granted, season 4 is the only story. The closest is the 10th Planet, with 3 of its 4 surviving episodes. Typically, it's episode 4 with the regeneration scene. Typical, and typically that missing episode is the final episode, which has the regeneration at the end. At least the scene survives. But however, 6 out of these 9 stories, as I mentioned earlier, they considered doing the Highlanders and the Evil of the Daleks has been rumoured to be coming up next, following the web. And the Evil of the Daleks has been confirmed. No, and the Evil. I think. Even if the Space Pirates is the last second Doctor season, season 4 would still. I think even if the Space Pirates is the last second Doctor story to be animated, whether they'll do Underwater Menace episodes 1 and 4 as well or not, I'm not so certain. They might. Even if the Space Pirates is the last second story, Jesus. Even if the well, they still got to do the Smugglers as well. They still got to start William. Whilst the Smugglers would be an easy one, but then again, we Doctor Who fans have been lapping up these reanimated and re-released. But then again, so there really isn't that much of a worry when it comes to animating or reconstructing and releasing the historical stories, because we fans will lap them up as much as the sci-fi stories, the pure sci-fi stories. So yeah, they don't really have much of an issue. So they don't really have anything to worry about when it comes to animating the historical stories on a financial. So when it comes to people purchasing and getting the historical stories, then they don't really have much of a worry. Then they don't have to be worried too much, because we'll lap it up as much as the other stories. for the reasons I already mentioned. So season 4 has there's also the possibility of animated episodes, just to complete the story, and just so it's not maybe just a side project, so maybe just as a side project, and a bit like the past animated stories prior to Power of the Daleks. So with all that, for those 2 missing episodes, so season 4, it's looking most like. So season 4, it's not 4 if. The Ark, the Celestial. No, not that. Season 3 is the most missing season. Season 3, either season 3 or it's either season 3 or season 4 that is the most missing. But it's also worth noting that season 4 has been having quite. It's also worth noting that no story from season 3 have gotten those missing episodes reanimated or reconstructed, besides the condensed reconstruction of Galaxy 4's missing episodes. But there isn't a full reconstruction of that, and there is no full reconstruction or animation of any other episode of season 3. The only exception, well, it's not really a reconstruction or a reanimation, it's a remake, and that's for Mission to the Unknown. That's the only exception. That and the condensed reconstruction of Galaxy 4's missing episodes, but those are the only exceptions. But they don't really count as full episode reconstructions, and Mission to the Unknown is a. But Galaxy 4's doesn't. But Galaxy's Force is condensed, not a full episode 1, and Mission to the Unknowns is a remake, which could still be included on the release, but it's a remake, it's not the original thing. So, yeah, so even if there is no complete story with all surviving episodes of that story, even if none of the stories are complete through all of the surviving episodes being even if none of the season 4 stories even if none of the season 4 stories are complete with all surviving episodes, but there are quite a few complete thanks to animation and reconstruction. Season 3 hasn't got any. It didn't have any prior to Power of the Daleks and BBC Studios taking on the. It didn't have any. None of the season 3 stories had any reconstructed or reanimated episodes prior to Power of the Daleks, with all the different companies that did Reign of Terror, 10th Planet, and quite a lot of Patrick Troughton stories from seasons 4 and 6. No. We had a couple of seasons. We had a couple of stories from seasons 1, 4, and 6, animated or reconstructed. We had a couple of animated episodes from seasons 1, 4, and 6 prior to Power of the Daleks, and of course we've had the reconstructions of Underwater Menace and The Web of Fear for their initial DVD releases, but and also the Galaxy 4 condensed one. But we haven't had anything for season, and of course, following Power of the Daleks, we've now had a ton of Patrick Troughton stuff from seasons 4 and 5, as well as Sharda, as well as season 17 Sharda. But we haven't had anything from season 3, full stop. They've been focusing on Patrick Troughton with the with the BBC Studio stuff. They've been focusing on Patrick Troughton stuff, and before that, they didn't do anything from season 3. So. Yeah, in fact, Fury from the Deep was the first thing from season 5. Fury from the Deep was the first anime. The Fury from the Deep episodes were the first season 5 episodes they've done. But season 3 has just been ignored all this time. Then again, season 5 is a more complete season than 3 and 4. But season 3 has been ignored somewhat, and there are some stories that could be easily done, like Galaxy 4, although the audio might not be so great. But then again, there's also some difficult ones, like the Celestial Toymaker. Dalek's Master Plan would be a mammoth job. But that one would probably take the production blocks of 2 of the Patrick Troughton or other William Hartnell stories that would be animated. That would be the length of 2. The production of that story would be the same, and again that would be, and then that, which is why I think it'll be the last one of the, which is why I think it'll be the last of the collection box sets to be released. As Alex Patterson theorized in his own list, as Alex Patterson theorized in his first, however, if to tie in with that collection, so to tie in with those releases as opposed to the collection, that's already And or there might be some sort of box set to be, if there is a box set or a release of the movie Blu-ray, or a new or a re-release of the movie on Blu-ray with a slipcase to tie in with the collection, then then they would come sometime between 2022 and 2025. Although there is the possibility, however, if it's steelbook, then I think it would be a good idea to release it in 2021. May would be the best time, because that would be the 25th anniversary of the movie. But like the Blu-ray in 2016, it could come out at any time in the 25th anniversary year. But in terms of a potential Eighth Doctor or Wilderness Years box set, then it would probably come to some. But in terms of but in the case of a potential Wilderness Years or Eighth Doctor box set, then it would probably come out sometime between 2022 and 2025, unless it's the standing for a release that has to be delayed later on, in which case it could be 2021 or released in 2023. Unless it's standing in for a release that's been delayed, in which case it could be 2021. But more likely 22 to 25. And that's even if any of those. But that's if either Wilderness Years or Eighth Doctor box set, or or TV movie Blu-ray, or a TV movie Blu-ray, either or the TV movie Blu-ray from 2016, or a new TV movie Blu-ray get a collection style sleeve case released. But I think it'll be most likely it'll have the steelbook, and it's most likely it'll have a steelbook, and it'll probably tie in with the new series ones instead. Anyway, so that's it from my prediction list. Sorry if it went on a bit too long. Anyway, so that's my predictions of what seasons are coming out and when. Anyway, that's my predictions of the future. Anyway, that's it from my or that there'll be a new Blu-ray. But yeah. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys. Which is the 4th season for the 4th Doctor? Which is the 4th season for the 4th Doctor? Which is the 4th season for the 4th Doctor? Let's try that. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the Whoniversals YouTube channel. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the Nicholas Payne bonus content YouTube channel.